Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me on another podcast from the Complete Sports Media. I'm your host, Darren Campbell. Today, we're breaking it down. We're going to break down the Travelers Championship. Was held at the TPC River Highlands in Hartford, Connecticut. Amazing golf tournament that was won by Dustin Johnson, Wayne Gretzky's son-in-law, and DJ had fallen on some hard times in his career recently with some injuries and not winning for a while. It's been 15 months, I guess, 2 wins in 25 months. Not terrible. He's won 63 million in his career, so I'm not feeling sorry for a guy, but it's nice to see him come back on top. One of the best ball strikers on tour. This week he got hot with the putter and was able to really assemble a fantastic victory. It was a highly contested match. He got a 61 on Saturday that vaulted him up near the top of the leaderboard. It was his career low round. And I can't wait to break it down with Casey O'Donnell. Going to bring him into the mix here and entertain you with our breakdown of this fantastic Travelers Championship. Let's bring him in. Hey, Casey, how are you?
Excellent, Darren. Yourself?
Doing really great. Yeah. Coming off a fantastic weekend, beautiful weather, beautiful tournament. I couldn't be in a happier spot. I see you're back up island to your sailboat, so you're back ready for another breakdown of some PGA golf. Great tournament on the weekend.
Oh, that's just it. Yeah, it was another beautiful weekend out there. Low scores, and the weather cooperated for the most part.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah. So it was a fantastic win by Dustin Johnson. He's had a little bit of injury troubles, has had a little bit of struggles being able to pull his game together and pull out some wins. He's only had one win in the last 15 months and 2 in the last 25. Not really his standards. He's won 21 tournaments in his career, but a super consistent guy in the sense that he's won 13 consecutive seasons on the PGA Tour. That's something that, he's touching up to guys like Tiger, Arnie, Jack territory, where guys have the only 3 guys that have had longer winning streaks than him. It's amazing that he's been around 13 years and been able to have 21 victories in those 13 years. Pretty impressive career.
Yeah, he's really phenomenal. Just a very consistent, very steady with his play and his mental game now. He really knows how to just stay calm through those tight situations. With rounds, he had like a 69, 64, 61, 67 to win by 1.
Wow.
It was beautiful. He struggled a bit maybe with the driver on a few holes. He kind of let them spray a little bit. Got a little unfortunate on one. It just went out of bounds, and another one just stayed in, but he really hit the ball really well. His putting touch, his touch around the greens was incredible. On that final round, he made that nice putt on 10 from off the green up the hill, just closed it in like it would never even had a chance of not going in. It was just a beautiful putt. Then we finishing strong with that. After the rain delay, it kind of maybe you got to sit around again for a half hour, which can always can go any which way, but he settled back down, and that drive he hit on 18, just like the Dustin of old, just crushed it. You could just see that turn he made to the ball was incredible. Hit it 350 plus, had just over 80 yards in for a second shot on 18, and closed that in there, and then just made a nice two putt to win. Nice stress-free 18 for him.
Yeah, impressive. Yeah, super impressive. I think it's the first tournament that he's ever won. I saw some stat today. The first tournament he's ever won that he didn't. He wasn't getting strokes gained off the tee off the rest of the field. He actually had the strokes gained from the putter, and that's unusual for Dustin Johnson. His length and being able to hit it so far, being able to hit it so solid. He's been able to usually win tournaments that way. His putter was the reason. You mentioned those 2 spray shots that he hit coming down the stretch, but his putter, definitely was solid for him and got him the victory this time.
Yeah, it was just nice to see. He really had that touch dialed in. He could have gone really low too. He had a lot of putts just missing, like less than an inch kind of thing. So he was really just on it and really rolled the ball very well.
I was shocked that 61 was his career low round.
Yeah,
That's getting into amazing territory. But yeah, both him and Todd and Saturday hit 61s. Brendan Todd come into this Sunday with a 2-shot lead, but Dustin just kept the pedal to the metal and just kept going and was able to pull out the win. Brendan Todd was just limping along. He had 11 pars in a row, and then he had a triple bogey that just sort of derailed his whole chances and ended up shooting a 75. Poor guy. He was
yeah, that
really
was a little
poised for a good win.
tough to see that he'd played so well throughout the week. He'd only missed one fairway on Thursday and hadn't missed one until the back nine of the final round. And unfortunately, I shot a 40 on the back nine, but it's a good solid performance. He'll take a lot away from this tournament for sure. It's
Yeah.
just really hard to stay consistent over 72 holes when you're up there, especially playing against a player like Dustin Johnson. That can really wear on you for sure.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I was very impressed with our Canadian Mackenzie Hughes. You and I have been talking about Corey Connors the last couple weeks, but we got an opportunity to see another Canadian emerge, and he had a 60 to open up the tournament, and he sort of struggled along there, but he ended up finishing with a flurry and ended up getting a couple birdies in the end and tied for third. Very great performance from Mackenzie.
Oh yeah, really, really solid performance for sure. That's 60 on that opening round. That's just a nice way to start the week for sure. Struggled a bit coming down in a few holes, but after that rain break, really settled in and making some nice putts coming down. That's a great way to finish. Like that's going to be a lot of confidence boost going into Detroit. But nice to see him just bombing those ones in.
Yeah,
Tie for third.
that one there, I couldn't believe the read that he had. 15 foot of break or more, and to be able to make it go down the hill and right into the cup. That was spectacular. That was one of the best shots I've seen all year.
Yeah, a lot of creativity to read that putt and just have to drop it out on that high spot and just let it feed down. Trust your read and right speed and everything. It was just beautiful.
Those last two birdies actually won him an extra $210,000. So he ended up cashing out with $463,000 check. So pretty nice for 4 days work. I'd take it. And yeah, great to see him finish with a flurry because, it's intimidating. You got some guys that have played a lot of tournaments. Phil Mickelson was up there. Dustin Johnson was up there. You had, very intimidating players, but he still kept his will and finished with a flurry. I'm impressed. I can't wait for more from him.
Absolutely, yeah. Corey Connors, yeah, we've been talking quite a bit about him. Unfortunately, he missed the cut, but there's lots of Canadians out there that are playing very well. Mackenzie Hughes really showed it this weekend.
Did you have any money on Mackenzie?
I had a bit of money actually. That the tie three won a little bit of money, which was nice. So that definitely helps. So I was going to mention Kevin Stroman there, just his impressive performance there. I'm not sure if you saw him on the first tee of that last day, but they had the trophy sitting right there, and he was eyeing it up, and he sees his name there. He's the champion from 2014, and it was just he just had a good focus on it. He had a lot of good positive memories. And in 2014, there he'd finished with 7 birdies to win that tournament, which is a PGA Tour record, and just an incredible way to finish. To shoot a 64 that day to win the tournament was beautiful.
Wow,
So he
that's
has that in his
that
mind.
is amazing. That is amazing, and he had really amazing chance. Like he ended up at 19 under, 1 stroke back, and yeah, he looked really good. He must love that course. I think he said it fits his eye, and to have that victory, nobody's ever birdied 7 holes in a row to finish a tournament. Nobody's ever done that on the PGA Tour to get a win, and he's going to come back as defending champion for the rest of his life. And, he really had an opportunity. Dustin was leaking a little bit of oil as he was hitting some balls out of bounds and almost hit it into the lake there. And, yeah, Streelman was right on his heels, but DJ still finally pulled it out.
Yeah, Hughes gave him a great read on 17 too. Like that putt with that big break, he almost put it right on his ball marker and gave him a really good read. So that could have gone. He had a real good chance there on 17 to put some real pressure.
Great to be able to go to a tournament and see your name on the trophy and know that you had success enough to better the field 1 year before, a few years before, and it's just, yeah, I mean, it has to be intimidating for the other players thinking, oh man, this guy's won it. And look at him. He's charging up the leaderboard every time they get a glance at it. There he is and looming. And yeah, he played fantastic golf. Him and Hughes, it was a fun pairing to watch.
Oh, it was a very fun pairing to watch for sure. And William Gordon there, he played extremely well too on that final round.
Oh my
tied for third with Hughes. And rounds of 66, 62, like nothing wrong with the 62. Then a 71, 64. So tied for third at 17 under. It's good. He did struggle a bit on Saturday with that 71, but nice to see him bounce back with a 64 and get into that tie for third.
Yeah, he played great. This is a guy that didn't have any status on the PGA Tour. He's been trying to make it through the Corn Ferry Tour and Monday qualifying and things like that. And he got a sponsor's exemption for this tournament, had an opportunity to come in. Some of the COVID cases have opened up spaces for guys like him, and he got an opportunity and he took advantage of it. He actually got some status now on the tour. He gets sponsors exemptions for the rest of the year, and yeah, impressive kid. I was really happy that he was able to finish well. He faded a little bit with that 71, like you say, on Saturday, but really came roaring out on Sunday and put up a number. A lot of people were like, "Holy cow! Wow, 17, we got to get there." So.
Yeah, he had missed a short putt. I don't know if it's on 16 or 17, but came back. He needed a birdie on 18. And then from 97 yards, just stopped it to 3 feet and made the bird. Like, that's just a nice way. You'd be heartbroken if you'd missed that putt and that was the one shot, but just nice to see him bounce back and birdie the 18th to secure that third place finish.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I love it when guys get an opportunity and they seize it and they change their lives. That was another $463,000 payday. So, that'll go a long way. And I can't wait for more golf from him. He showed a lot of composure, and golf's a tough game. You're playing 4 different rounds, different conditions, different playing partners. It's tough to keep it together for 4 rounds, but when you're approaching 20 under, that means you're getting about 5 under per round. Like, that's spectacular golf.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, and when Strillman won it in 2014, that winning score was 15 under, and now you're getting scores 19, like in and around there. That's the last couple of weeks here. You're in around 20, so getting some nice low scores out there. Perfect conditions.
Yeah. So that was DJ's 21st victory on the tour. Only Phil Mickelson with 44 and Tiger Woods with, what does he have, 89 or something crazy, are the only active players that have more than him. So, wow, what an amazing career. I saw he's made $63 million in earnings on the tour. So, he's in pretty good shape.
Absolutely. Yeah, he just looked really solid there on the weekend. Yeah. Speaking of Phil there, Phil was playing good. He nice little start, like 64, 63 to start the Thursday, Friday. Like, wow, playing really well. He was dialed right in. Like, all his short game and his putting was just, everything just looked really nice and tight. Unfortunately, Saturday, he started to wobble a little bit doing that. He misses some of those short putts. I'm not sure what's going on in his head. He just takes that little bit extra time, and it just doesn't seem comfortable at over some of those short putts where, how he practices. He'll make hundreds of those putts. He can make them in his sleep, but there's something that, he's been playing really solid though. That was good to see.
Yeah, it was really great to see. I love Phil, always have and always will. He's such a solid guy, and he definitely appreciates the fans. And he's 50 years old. It's hard to compete with these young guys at 50, but he played really, really great. And those first 2 rounds, he was paired in threesome with Bryson DeChambeau and Rory McIlroy, and he said it was really, really fun, challenging, working and trying to compete with those guys. They play such a different game than he does, and I just saw him raise his level of his game competing against them. I can't actually remember who he was paired with on Saturday and Sunday, but it just didn't bring him the same type of solid golf as the first 2 days.
No, it wasn't. But yeah, the Bryson DeChambeau, can he ever hit it a ton? Oh, a couple of those lines he took on some of those holes. Him and Phil were bouncing off the cart path too for a couple of the holes. Bryson hit that one, I think it was on 10, where it hit the cart path and ended up rolling out 428 yards. Like,
I
just a
know.
little chip left.
I
What an
heard that
incredible,
428, like 428. Like, can you
probably
even
hit it
see that
360.
far?
Oh, he just hit it and then it bounced and went down like the downhill slope of the cart path, rolled right out. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard all these. You and I talked about Bryson a couple times in the past few weeks, but I've heard rumors that he's put on 15 pounds of muscle and even up to 40. I don't know where it lies, but holy cow, the guy is just huge and he is ripping the ball, just
Oh,
ripping it.
it's incredible how huge he is. Yeah, you'd almost have to think it was 40 pounds of muscle, just the pure size of him. He's launching that ball so far. He kind of, it's almost like he grew too much so quick. Like, he seems like he's still trying to dial it right in. Like, he's playing very solid golf. Don't take that away from him, but he seems like he has that other level just kind of waiting. Once he can calm down a little bit, and the putting especially too, he looks very rigid in some of his shots. But I think that'll come once he gets a few more rounds and a little more relaxed. I think he's going to be a real force to be reckoned with.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah.
Like when you're driving 360.
Especially wide open courses and courses where you can drive par fours, you can get it on the green in one and things like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm remembering another guy that put on a lot of muscle and tried to be able to drive as far as the top guys. And David Duval is the name that comes to my mind, and his game went from number one in the world to right off the map. He just suddenly couldn't hit the ball anymore after putting on muscle. That's the name that came to my mind when I heard that Bryson did this, and just hope it doesn't happen to him what happened to Duval.
Yeah, that would be a shame, but I don't. He's got such focus, DeChambeau, that you can't see him really going away. Whether he changes it again and goes to something different, I can see him just continuing to evolve over the years, just to be the best player that he can be.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a talented golfer. They always talk about his eccentricities and the funny sort of scientist that he is, and they now they're focused so much on this bulk up, but he was always a different golfer than most of them, and they're trying to have the same stroke every time. He uses different funny clubs, and yeah, he's an interesting guy. I'm looking forward to seeing him up at the top of the leaderboard and finding more and more about him all the time.
Yeah, interesting to see him hit the drives on some of those par fours, just how hard he's swinging and how far he can carry that ball and the different lines that he can take on some of these courses is just going to be incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it must be fun. Must be fun for young golfers when they're seeing guys like that. I remember John Daly when he emerged out on the scene and he was blasting it farther than anybody by 20, 30, 40, 50 yards. And all of a sudden, all of us were like, holy cow, where'd this guy come from? We can swing that hard. We can actually hit it that far. Oh my God, what the heck? And to be able to, see these young people being able to watch it, I'm saddened that people aren't being able to be there live other than people that live around the courses. But, it's going to be fun for young guys to be able to see him live and be able to hit the ball 350 and 428 yards. I don't remember a drive ever that far. I mean, cart, helped, but 428 yards, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just absolutely incredible to see someone hit at that distance. It's nice to see that there's a few more fans out there this week with the houses being so close to the course. You heard some good cheers and even some people yelling some stuff in a few of the holes, which kind of getting back to maybe a little bit normal, which has got to feel good for those players actually hearing some roars and some cheers after making a nice putt.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And you briefly mentioned there was a weather delay 2 weeks in a row now. There was some lightning storm that was close, and then it got too close, lightning strikes, and they definitely said, look, shut it down. And so both weeks they had to shut it down, go off the course, wait for word that they're going to have, be able to tee it back. They warm up, and then they're back out there. Yeah, I was definitely worried about DJ because he had some wayward drives, that one that almost hit the railroad tracks, and then one bounce away from the lake. And all of a sudden he righted the ship and was able to get a birdie. And then boom, all of a sudden, only 3 holes left. You got to stop. Oh, it must be hard for to be those 6 golfers that were left out on the course.
Yeah, very difficult. And they were so close to being finished. Like they only had a couple holes left and maybe a half hour of play. So they were really pushing to get it in, but you just don't want to take a chance getting that close to the end and not being able just to maybe take a half hour or 45-minute break just to let the weather pass through. But they did a great job on Saturday of getting that whole round in before the rain came in earlier in the afternoon there. Teeing off on 1 and 10 and just being able to get that full round in that's a good job.
Super smart. Yeah, really brilliant. Yeah, it was tough because I didn't want to wake up at 4 a.m. to, see it live. But luckily the Golf Channel and when CBS ended up picking up the coverage, got an opportunity to watch it right from the beginning. So, yeah. With golf, it's crazy because it's an outdoor sport and, it can have these delays. You got to set your PVR with a couple hours recording time after and, try to set your PVR to record the Golf Channel early. And, it's hard over 4 days. Weather comes in and it can change things so much.
Yeah, it can be frustrating when you think you have the coverage all recorded and then it cuts out on the 12th hole because you didn't play an extra 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm actually remembering last time you and I teed it up. We started encountering a little bit of rain, drizzle, getting up near the end of our round, and then all of a sudden, complete downpour in the last hole, and we just had to get the heck out of there and get back to the clubhouse as quick as we could.
Yeah, that came down pretty quick in a heck of a hurry there because that was pretty cold.
Yeah, golf's amazing with that. So
Yeah.
it's a sport that has to deal with the elements, and the last 2 weekends, I guess you're gonna have to figure out how to keep your composure and just pull out the victory. And DJ, 21 wins. Yeah, he's definitely approaching Hall of Fame caliber numbers, and yeah, hopefully he's pulled it together, and we'll be able to see him at the top of the leaderboard most of the rest of the year here.
Yeah, absolutely. He looked really good. That swing, that drive he hit on 18, that for me was just incredible. Like how free of a swing that was, and just laced it right down the pipe, 350 plus, to kind of seal the victory. It was just nice to see. It was like the DJ of old, where he's just got that nice shoulder turn through that ball. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so great. Yeah, so let's go down the leaderboard a little bit more and focus in on some of the other guys. We talked about Bryson. What about Abraham Answer? He got a T11, shot a 13 under, tied with Rory. Both pretty impressive tournaments.
Yeah, he's been playing really well. He's just a really solid player. Just getting it done, like from tee to green. Really, it doesn't seem to be too wavered by being paired with a lot of the bigger names or being right in the mix with some of it. He just looks very solid out there. Got a little bit unlucky on a few of the holes, like such as golf, but yeah, he played really solid again. Like, look to see his name up the top of the leaderboard for sure.
Yeah, Phil ended up shooting a +1 on the last day, so he ended up going down to tied for 24th, but still a pretty impressive performance for the 50-year-old.
Yeah.
Sergio tied 32nd. Rom tied 37th. Defending champion Chez Ravi, T46. Spieth, T54 with a 6 under. Another Canadian made the cut, Roger Sloan. He ended up at even par for the rest of the tournament. A few guys missed the cut that I was a bit sad about. Definitely Justin Thomas missing the cut. It's always disappointing because he's great to watch. But yeah, it was a really, really fantastic tournament. The one guy missed the first cut he's ever missed. The Japanese guy, he missed the first ever cut. Is it Horikawa? Is that how you say his last name? Yeah, first cut he's ever missed in his PGA Tour career. So that was a shock.
Wow, that is very impressive. Like that's a tough racket. That's for sure.
Yeah. I guess we can touch on a little bit on the coronavirus. There was some big names that pulled out early in the week.
Yeah, we had the latest I saw was Fratelli played in last week's tournament, but he tested positive, and so he'll be off for however long that's going to take. And Nick Watney there from last week, he's still on his quarantine, so hopefully he can get back. Maybe not this week at Detroit, but the week after in Ohio, he should be up there playing again. But yeah, you had the Koepkas, you had Brooks and his brother Chase, which unfortunately his brother Monday qualifier. Tough to see, but at least the Travelers were nice enough. They're extending that invitation till next year, which that's a classy move. That's a very classy move. So yeah, more just precaution, I think, for those guys with their caddy, Brooks' caddy testing positive, and same with Graham McDowell. His caddy had tested positive as well.
Yeah, and Webb Simpson said some of his family members had tested positive, so he decided to pull out. And they lost a couple guys during the tournament too. Bud Cauley, Denny McCarthy had to pull out because I think Denny McCarthy got tested positive, and Bud Cauley decided to pull out because he had been his playing partner. So yeah, it's affecting a few guys. I'm glad it's not derailing the entire tournament. I heard Harris English tested positive today, and he has to withdraw from this coming weekend's tournament. But it's crazy how contagious this is, and it's affecting caddies, it's affecting families, it's affecting golfers, and I'm glad it's not affecting the tournament and shutting them down.
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing for them to control when you're out in the public at some point, or you have to travel yourself. Like you're going to be exposed, and just trying to limit that contact with people is going to be very difficult for some of these players. Some of them may not have access to private jets, like some of them. So that can be a little bit challenging, maybe.
Yeah. So fantastic tournament. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. I watched pieces of all 4 rounds, and I was riveted to the coverage yesterday. It was really fun. I was disappointed that they had another weather delay because I wanted to enjoy more of the beautiful weather we had at the time, but I was happy I stuck around and watched DJ pull out his 21st win.
Yeah, it was nice. It was just a short delay, thank God, because I was thinking the same thing as you. I was hoping it would wrap up to see what happens. So I get out and enjoy the day, but if that's the worst thing to happen, I'll take that.
So if you watch this tournament next year, bet on Streelman. He obviously loves this tournament a ton. Put some money on the defending champion DJ and Mackenzie Hughes, Will Gordon. Very, very impressive tournament from Mackenzie and a young guy, Will Gordon. I don't know a ton about him except that he spent some time of that COVID break with Webb Simpson. I guess they're from the same hometown, and he was able to get some playing tips. And he said it's his mentor. And it's too bad Webb pulled out. It would have been nice for them to be together in that tournament. But Will Gordon, somebody to look out for. And I'm going to do a lot of studying and find some more tidbits of information I can share with the viewers for next time.
Yeah, there's lots to dive into for sure. I hadn't really heard that name, especially that high up in the leaderboard too. So it's nice to see there's always new faces, and it's amazing how many good players there are that you just never heard of. It's just amazing, like how close they are to being amazing golfers. It's great to see.
Yeah. And Phil the Thrill with his shades and his new look. He impressed the heck out of us. It started bringing up stats about 50 and over guys, and I hope he doesn't go to the Champions Tour for a while. I love seeing him on the PGA Tour, and he's still got it quite often, and hopefully he can put it together for 4 rounds and win another tournament soon.
Yeah, he's still got a lot of great golf left, so it's going to be great to see him in the future here playing and contending in some of these tournaments. Is going to be exciting.
That Pebble Beach one that he had like a year ago, that was great. So great that you can compete with 20s and 30s and 40-year-olds when you're 49, 50 years old. That's the one beauty of golf that we saw Bernhard Langer a week ago, 62 years old, making the cut and having a great tournament. Ernie Els, you mentioned. Now we see Phil getting up there. Tiger's, what is he, 46 now, Tiger? So, he's still playing amazing golf.
He's just a puppy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think most of us golfers have thought, well, we couldn't make the PGA Tour. Maybe we can make that Champions Tour, and still have opportunities to to play there, maybe. But I've always heard that that's even harder because there are so many guys like us that never were good enough to make the pros, but just grind it out until you're 50, and then hopefully get an opportunity to qualify. And so maybe there's even more guys trying to get on the senior tour than there is on the regular tour.
Yeah, that's a very good point. There are a lot of good players on the Champions Tour that you just, again, never heard the name or whatever. They had the regular job for most of their career and just played golf, and then they really focused in, and there they are winning tournaments. It's amazing
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah. Well, what do you got? What do you got? 12 years? Is that what you got? So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
keep
Geez, I'll
at
be
it.
working at the beverage cart there. Maybe I'll take that.
Got to get it in somehow, right?
Oh, that's just it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love seeing Phil. I watched David Faraday with Phil. It was a two-parter this past weekend too, and he reminisced about tons of his old tournaments, and Faraday had to rub it in a little bit. Hey, how many U.S. Opens have you won? And he said 0, but I finished second 6 times, so I kind of count that as a win. And I thought that was a pretty good comment.
Yeah, he's had some heartbreakers at the U.S. Open for sure. But yeah, no, he'll get there. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this was fun. Yeah, yeah. So Dustin Johnson, another huge win, 21st victory. Yeah, just grinding out 13 consecutive years having a win. That's amazing. I've, when you hear stuff like that, you think, how can it be 13 years ago that he first teed it up? It's shocking how time could fly.
Absolutely, and sometimes you just don't think he's maybe playing so well. You just haven't heard his name a lot, but obviously he's continuing to play very well, at least enough to win one tournament a year, that's an incredible feat for sure.
Yeah. And out of 13 years, 21 wins. So, always multiple wins on some of the years. He's had, I think it was 2015 or 16 where he was player of the year, #1 golfer in the world. And I think he won 3 or 4 tournaments that year. Just, when he could put it together, he's just unbelievable. I love watching him play golf. He's so entertaining.
Yeah, his style is incredible. The way he can just really knock that ball, the distance he gets off some of those shots, some of those iron shots, just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's sad that the Gretzkys couldn't be there to celebrate with him. I didn't see his wife. I didn't see Wayne. And
That's too bad with Paula.
yeah, and Paulina. Yeah, I always love seeing them on the side of the course and congratulating him when he has a big win. And I got a Gretzky book behind me, and I was checking on Instagram, seeing Paulina was posting anything, but I think she's been shying away from her social media lately. And yeah, I'm sure they're going to be celebrating this victory. Much needed. He had a knee surgery in September, and had to recover off of that. And it's great to see him come back with a flourish in this after the pandemic and the hiatus they had. I hope he's teeing it up for in the next few tournaments. And I haven't heard. Did you hear if he's going to the Rocket Mortgage in Detroit next weekend?
I didn't really get to look too much with who's all playing in that one, and I guess you never know. He could be withdrawing the way that things are moving here so quickly. Be interesting to see what happens when they come tee it up Thursday.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're moving to Detroit this weekend for the Rocket Mortgage Classic, so that'll be good.
Yeah, well, let's hope we can pull you in. I know you're a busy guy, and I'm busy too. Hopefully, we can do a preview. It'd be really great. Haven't had a chance to look too much at this tournament. I was focused so much on this past weekend, that Travelers Championship. I was so looking forward to, and it delivered more than I could have imagined. But let's try to make something work on Wednesday, and if not, same time, same place as usual next Monday, and we'll break it down again. Thanks so much, Casey. I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, no problem, Darren. I'll have a few dark horses for some gambling picks for the guys.
Nice.
We'll see if we can maybe get some money out there for some people.
Do that. Yeah, please. I know it's nice when you have a bit of skin in the game, and I play a little. I play on the fantasy DraftKings site, and I won some money. I didn't tell you that. I actually won some
Nice.
money this weekend, which made me pretty damn happy. And
Sweet.
yeah, I made some really good picks, and yeah, I always like hearing your parlays and stuff like that. I don't get involved in that type of stuff yet, but yeah, I think you might be able to convince me on some of the great dark horses that you pull out for us. So.
Yeah, I did definitely like another close weekend. I had 5 of 6 and in a 4 of 6 parlays. I would have paid about $1,500 each. So they were very close. One was a bit of a nail biter. Lost on the last hole, unfortunately. But that's how it is. If you're going to get close, you may just one day it'll hit. That's for sure. But I'm all around it.
Well, can you break that one down? Can you remember the details of it? Tell me.
I don't.
No.
I don't have the guys. Who was it? It was one of the. It was one of the Asian players. He just didn't have a good round the last day. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the name in front of me, but yeah, he had a 5 of 6, and it was just right down to that last hole. Unfortunately.
Amazing.
But yeah, that's how it is. When you're gonna bet 6-game parlay, it's you have 6 chances for it to mess up.
Yeah. Well, that's great. As I said, yeah, thanks so much for your time. This was a fun tournament and fun to break it down with you as usual. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and yeah, let's try to tee something up Wednesday, and we'll talk about the Rocket Mortgage coming up this weekend in Detroit.
Thanks, that sounds great, Darren. Yeah, I'll talk to you then.
Perfect. Bye for now.
Bye.
Yeah. Wow. Fun as usual. Yeah, must-see TV. I love it when we have this opportunity. The 4 days that you spend as a golf fan, dedicating yourself to watching as the leaderboard shifts and new players emerge. Mackenzie Hughes having that 60. It was great to see the Canadian right up there, and yeah, he faltered a little bit with some of the other guys passing him, but all of a sudden, boom, he was able to finish with a couple birdies and finish tied for third. Really great. Dustin Johnson, really amazing Saturday, obviously, with the 61 and pulling it up. Looking at a 2-stroke disadvantage to Brendan Todd, but he ended up, playing super solid golf. Had a couple hiccups on the back, but it's going to happen when you drive it as far as he does. And, he hits it a ton, and you're going to have some wayward shots, but able to pull it together. Great putting display, and nice to see him back in the winner's circle, and yeah, hopefully many more wins to come. 21 victories in a stellar 13-year career. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. The time flew as usual, always does. Talking golf with Casey, and Casey brought a lot to the table today. It was a really, really great podcast, and yeah, please keep tuning in. I'm going to be bringing out podcasts fast and furious. We've got our resident people that break down sports, and then I'm going to have a lot of special guests this week. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you do some likes, give me some comments, and find me on YouTube. Find me on your local podcast. I'm on Podbean and on a lot of other platforms. You'll be able to find it when you log in. So love you lots. Take care. Enjoy your golf. Hopefully you can get out and play some rounds. I plan to this week, and we'll see you on Wednesday with Casey's breakdown of the Rocket Mortgage Championship next Monday, breaking it down fully. So take care. Bye for now.